Hello, everyone. We're going to talk about my results of the Casey Cup. We'll talk about how I did, what's going on in future streams, and what you can expect. Okay, so is OBS working? Yes. Okay, cool. Beautiful. All right, we ranked 669 global, which is pretty good, pretty damn good. I had to stop a little bit early. We would have pushed for well into top 500, except that I had to go for an MRI. Everything's okay. Don't worry about it. I'm okay. Anyway, I'm going to show you what decks we got it with. We're probably around top 50, top 30 NA, which is really good. I want to show you what decks we got it with. First deck I want to go over. Duel Links today. Thank you. Was Thunder Dragons. This got me from 22 to 40k. We did phenomenal with this. This climbed me out of the gutter. I kept it simple, really 20 cards. Now, I know a lot of people were playing hand traps at the higher ranks. I don't play hand traps. I keep it simple. I want to see Lev early. 3 Levianeer, 3 Dragon Hawk, 3 Dragon Dark, 1 Duo, 2 Roar, 2 Raiden, 3 Lupine, 2 Charge, 1 Melody. People can ask, do you need 3 Levianeer? At the highest competitive level, I'm going to tell you yes. You do want 3. Dragon Hawk can be run at 2 if you want to go 3 Roar. 3 Dark, absolutely mandatory, but there's no reason why you shouldn't have 3. Because Dark and Roar are free in game. Aloof is a mandatory 3 of. Our extra deck. Now, this is where things came important. Okay? Diamond Direwolf is really, really good. Because it allows you to... Let's say we go up against Blue Eyes, right? And I go and they have Karma Cut. And you're like, oh no! I'm going to get Karma Cutted, right? Now, you want to go Dire to force their Karma Cut some of the time. Some of the time, earlier on in the cup, I was playing Dweller. For people who do not know what this is, but I'm sure most of you watching know. Abyss Dweller is also really good. We just didn't have the extra deck space after a while. Also, Dire's really good against Despot. They're holding a Karma Cut. And it can help you get Levianeer fodder in the grave. But you're probably saying, how do I summon this thing? Well, you're going to go into a Lupine. Hopefully have another level 4 Naham, being another Lupine or a Raiden. A Charge of the Light Brigade. Also, can get you to a Raiden, which can get you into a level 2 play into a 4. So, I'd go Aloof, Roar, Banish Dark, get both of their effects. Roar would summon a Dark in this case, or a Hawk if I need a Light in the Grave. There's no real reason to summon a Hawk if you have a Light in the Grave, because you're going to do before anyway, you might as well get a Dark out of the deck. No reason to waste the potential recovery resource there for that kind of a play. But Dweller can be also really good against Blue Eyes, because if you force their Karma Cut and you threaten lethal, so let's say turn 1, Blue Eyes goes, they summon Sage, right? And they search their Ancients, activate cards of Consonance, draw 2, set 2 back row. Well, if you go into Dweller, in that case, right, they may have a Blue Eyes on the field plus a Sage. At the very least, if they're going to discard a secondary Ancient, you can negate that. Well, it can activate, you don't negate it. But if you go first, you can also make Dweller against them. And then they can't use Ancients on their turn, which is fantastic. So if you have the room, go ahead and throw it in. If you're finding you're running into a lot of Blue Eyes. Now, another card we ran in the extra deck was number 70, Malevolent Sin. Malevolent Sin is very good against Noble Knights. And the reason why is a lot of the players are going to go into Destiny the minute they find out you're playing Thunders. And Malevolent Sin can allow you to OTK through Destiny. I might have a few replays showing that off. So if I do, we're going to look at them. And I'm going to pinpoint out exactly what we do. Strike Bouncer is mandatory. You make this by duping your 6. And Strike Bouncer allows you to negate any monster effect. Very good against Hydra to negate a Rampage Dragon if they go out in Fusion Gate. And very good against Noble Knights to negate potential Midrot or Dristan. So very, very good. Now, the next card we run is Constellar Plotomy M7. So what this card allows you to do is it takes 2 level 6s. And you make it by duping generally. Sometimes you can use a roar and a hawk and just make it. But what makes this card really good, or double roar, is that it allows you to bounce an opponent's monster back to potentially a Noble Knight Exceed that you don't want to float, Goosten, or Torgus. And also can add back Levineer from the graveyard to the hand. So really good at that. Even just getting back a Duo or a Hawk is really good too. Next card is Heretic Overlord of Heliopolis. You make this by 2 level 8s. Sometimes you don't dupe into this. Sometimes you do. Summon this. You detach. And then you can tribute any amount of monsters on your field or in your hand. Destroy that same amount of cards your opponent controls. They have to respond to this immediately. If they don't, then you can pop whatever you want because this does not target. Onimaru. I know a lot of people weren't playing this, but I did. Very good against Desperado. Levineer. Raiden. Turn 1, you can make this really easily. So if I go charge and I mill, let's say, I don't know, Roar, Dark, Hawk, right? And then I add that right into the hand. I go Levineer, summon itself. Then I normal the Raiden. Not only do I get to loop a card out of their hand because I banished 3 Darks, but because I summon a Raiden, I can sync it right into Onimaru. Can't be destroyed by card effects, so they have the Karma Cut to out this. Or use Malevolent Sin. It makes it so it's very resource intensive for them to out it. Very resource intensive. So very good. Vermilion Dragon Mech, also another very good card. Takes 1 tuner plus 1 or non. Tuner's level 9. So Dark plus Raiden, or unless you want to dupe into it. You summon it, banish a tuner, pop a card in the field. Very good. Also, if it's destroyed by card effect, recover a tuner. So you can recover a Raiden. Could be an additional normal summon. Could also get you more fodder in the graveyard. Okay? So that's the first deck I played. Alright? Thunder Dragons got me from 22 to 40. Very, very good. Next deck I played was Ritual Beast. And I played this very uncasually. I know a lot of people who... Oh, that's the wrong list. That's Triumphs. Hold on, let me get the right list. Oh, that's not it. Give me 1 second. Oh, well. Alright, I deleted the list. I can remake this. I can remake this really fast, so just hang on for a brief moment. And I'll show you exactly what I played. Now, I know Veil seems very uncasual here. And it is. But it did come in clutch in a lot of different situations. So, having that Veil really allows you to do a lot of different things. Okay. So, this was my RB list. And the skill we used was, of course, Destiny Draw. Okay, so let's go over this really quickly. Alright, 3 Windus. This got me from 12k to 25. 3 Windus, 2 Spears, 3 Conahawk, 3 Veil. Now, you're probably saying, why Veil? Okay, Thunder Dragons cannot OTK through a Veil. Okay, so having Veil means that, let's say I open up Conahawk, Veil, Petalfin, Laura. If I go up against Thunder Dragons and I take the damage, because most of the time they're going to summon 3 things with 2,000 or higher anyway, because they're focused on killing you through Spear. If you summon Veil and they play in the D-Draw, they're too late. By then, I get my Elder, go Elder Conahawk, and then I go off. Okay? Another point of Veil is it's harder for Blackwings to OTK. Not that they can't. They can go Onimaru. They can get boosted Chidori, but it makes it harder for them to kill you. So you have that as an option as well. Spear Karibo for extra defense behind the Veil. Book of Moon, which is the sensational in here. Okay, before anyone has a heart attack, you do not need Book of Moon and Ritual Beast. You can run Lance, you can run Cosmic, you can run Herald, Canadia, Floodgate, they all work fine. Fiendish. You do not need to spend $1 billion on Book of Moon. It does work the best. But if you don't have it, don't have a heart attack. Pedalfin, really good for bouncing cards back to the hand. A Paleo, Lara for the recovery. Needle, because this counters Blue Eyes. And on the Dragon, massive boards that we can blow up. So this was my RB list. Okay? Last but not least. Oh, also, we played not 2 Pedalfins. We actually played 1 Malevolent Sin over one of the Pedalfins. So, just keep that in mind. We didn't run double Pedalfin. Now, the last deck I have to show you guys is Onamat. Now, here we played Head, 1 Glove, and 3 Sister, because 3 Sister allows us to, well, actually, we didn't play 3 Sister. This is my farm list for the DDD Tower. However, we did play 2 Offerings. So why Offerings? Why the hell would you play Offerings in this deck? Well, let me explain to you. Let's say you go Sister, right? Against Blue Eyes. They go turn 1 Spirit Pass. You go Sister. You know what? Even so, lay it in that they have back row for good measure. You go Sister. You Hatronade. Sister, search Bolt. Have Coat. Okay? So now they activate. You summon Sister. You search. Bolt. Activate Bolt Pop. They chain Spirit Dragon. They take an Azurize. Attempt to activate effect. You chain. Offerings is a quick play. Pop it. Now they don't get protected. Very good. And Spirit Dragon goes bye-bye. Another thing, okay, with Onamat that we also did is we ran 3 Dodo Draw, 3 Utopic. Now, why wouldn't you run multiple Dodo Dwarf over this? Well, because this can summon anyone out of the hand, where this can only summon a Gaga. So you're probably saying, well, wait, why does that even matter? Okay, well, let me phrase this to you, and I'm going to tell you why this matters. Alright? This can't only summon a Gaga. So if you want to summon a Sister, it can, but you also can't level dupe it. Well, not level dupe it, but you can't manipulate the levels with Sister on this, because this isn't a Gaga. So, if you need to start off, you don't want to start off with this, you'd rather start off with this. So, if I need to summon this, I'd rather have this at multiples than this. Because it's better to normal summon Utopic than it is Glove. So one of these is very optimal. Wind is also very good because it plays around back row. Extra deck was 1 Heliopolis. This was in the farm. I didn't play this in the main. I'll show you the other extra deck monster that I did run. Because I didn't run Heliopolis. We were actually running Swordbreaker. And this was because I found, where are you? Okay, there you are. This was because we ran into too many Lunalights, and I wanted out to them. 1 Roach for Thunder Dragons, Strike Bouncer, obviously mandatory. Dweller for Blue Eyes, very good. Gaga Samurai, Malevolent Sin, very, very good. So, this was a very good list here. Alright, now I'm going to show you some replays from the KC Cup. So, these might go in random order, just bear with me. Next KC Cup, we're pushing for top 100 global. That is the goal. To really outdo ourselves and get us a well-deserved icon. Okay. So here's some replays. These might be completely out of order, so just bear with me here. Okay.
Duel!
Okay, so here's what we do. Alright, Noble Knights, right? This is how I told you we OTK through this, right? How do we OTK through this? Alright, Melody Charge. We get 2 Levineers. This is the first step. Always, when you have a Thunder Dragon hand, always Melody first. Don't charge before you Melody. If you do that, you are gonna risk the chance of you milling your Levineers into the graveyard. So not good at all. Always Melody first. Activate Charge of the Light Brigade. Activate Add Raiden. Hawk summons Roar. Now, I'm going to pause this again. In every case you can, you always want to lead Levineer, meaning that you want to summon it before you activate Hawk, normal summon. You want to lead the Levineer. In this case, we couldn't because we didn't mill Light, so we had to lead the Roar. Alright, activate Levineer. We're going to activate Dark, searching another Roar. We're going to pop his Gwynnefer, and we're going to force a Destiny. We're going to force a Destiny here to protect. We're going to dupe into Heliopolis. He's going to activate until. That's fine. Another play you can make is you could force Destiny by popping it, the Destiny itself. That means that he'd have to re-equip in that scenario, meaning that he wouldn't be able to Driston pop. That's another route. Alright, so he activates Merlin, goes into Sacred Noble Knight Custonin. We're going to pop both. He does not get the Protection of Destiny because we already forced it. Goes into Artorigus, he'll be able to equip. We swing over. We can't OTK him here, unfortunately. He goes in the Brothers, and we let him go. We have a follow-up Levineer here. You need to pay mind to this. Normal summons Madrot, goes into Sacred Noble Knight Custonin. Activates Trap to summon a Boars. Normal summon activates Equip Arthridator. So he takes the risk. This would give him lethal if he gets Gallatin. Does not get the Gallatin. Activates Gwynnefer. He's short 500. Bounces, and now we have the follow-up left. And this is where we go to work. Levineer, banishing Roar, Dark, Hawk. We're going to get both Roar and Dark's effects. We do not want to trigger Hawk because Hawk is a once per turn hard. Adding Duo with the Dark. Summoning out another Hawk with the Roar. Going to go ahead and pop. He's going to mandatorily re-equip. That's fine. We tribute over that set Levineer that he cannot hit. M7 bounce the Custonin. Go into a Duo. Activate Hawk now because we don't care. We're not going to try to summon. Try to get a new card out of the hand. Swing, and we're out of Thunder Dragons. And he scoops. Very, very nice. So he played through all of his Noble Knights. We forced him to use Brothers early. That is very, very good. You want to force Brothers as early as possible in the Noble Knight matchup going second. So that is your goal. If you cannot OTK them through that current state, you want to force the Brothers to come out. Because once you do that, then they really don't have a recovery with their traps. Alright, going second against Noble Knights again. It's going to activate Merlin, summoning Madrot, activating the Caliburn, equipping onto the Merlin. We'll gain 500. So I'm going to fast forward through his turn 1 play here. Just because we already know. We're going to activate Dark's effect. We already pretty much seen this play 100 times to Sunday. So there's really no need to keep going over this. Okay, so now it's our turn. He sets a back row. We're going to aloof. Banish a Roar. Banish a Dark. We're going to lead with the aloof here first because we want to bait out his traps. Alright, so he's going to go in. And now he's going to be baited to pop me before we can exceed into potentially he's scared of a bouncer. So no Roar float. We've already used Roar's effect. Can only use that float effect once per turn. Going to search out Levineer. Now we get going. Levineer goes ahead and summons itself. Can pop up to 2 cards, non-targeting. He doesn't have the Protection of Destiny, so Artorigus gets popped. Level duplication. Reveal, go into Heliopolis. Heliopolis, go into level 8. Activate, pop. Summon a Duo, and now we begin swinging for lethal. Force them to use the trap early. Threaten the exceed with a Lupine. Get him to use the back row early. Very, very good. He's out of resources. That's exactly how we want to play that. So going turn 2 against Noble Knights. We showed you twice in a row. That is how you got to break their board. You got to focus on what they're going to be able to do, how you're going to be able to break their board. Okay? And that is going to be the most optimal scenario for you. Alright? More Thunder Dragon replays here. This is Blue Eyes. Now, we talked about Blue Eyes earlier in the video and how we dealt with them, right? Now, point to be made, I showed that we weren't playing Dweller earlier. We played it. We actually switched to Malevolent Sin as we got later on in the cup. Once we started seeing more Noble Knights and Desperado. We go into Dweller. Now, remember, what did I tell you about Abyss Dweller here? I told you that Abyss Dweller, if they go Sage in the back row, then you can potentially force them to Karma Cut, and they will not get their Ancient's effect. Activates Karma Cut. That's what we want. We're going to negate the effect of his Legend. He will not be able to search a Blue Eyes. We go Levy in the air, and we bait out the Karma Cut. Spear Karibo, that is fine. We have a follow-up Levy in the air in the hand, and he scoops. Very, very easy wins with Thunder Dragon. Remember, I told you about the value of Abyss Dweller. Abyss Dweller is very good because you can negate their Ancients in the graveyard. Also, if they have an Ancients in the graveyard that they're already triggering, they already want to trigger, and you can't go Dweller, you can go M7 and add that Ancients back to the hand because you can take cards out of your opponent's graveyard and add them to the hand. So you potentially don't want Ancients in the graveyard, you can do that. Alright. Here's another replay. Activating Charge of the Light Brigade first, leading with that. Gonna go into our 3 darks. Activating the Levineer. Activating the Roar. Activating the Dark. Adding a Dragon Duo. Roar will summon a Hawk. And we'll be able to shuffle card back in the hand. Very good. Activate Hawk. Level 2. Go into our Photon Strike Bouncer. This is the most ideal turn 1 board you could set up. Levineer, Strike Bouncer, Roar. That is your ideal turn 1 play. The only time you don't want to summon Roar is if you feel that you're going up against Despa. And I'm going to tell you why. And you're probably going to say, well, why wouldn't I want to summon Roar in that case against Despa? Because if you summon it against Despa, they're going to sit on you till they draw into Necro Valley and other resources. If they're able to sit on you and they don't have to attack through anything, you're not going to be able to go for a push with Levineer. So if you go up against Despa, do not summon the Roar. Just leave it, and you'll follow up Levineer on them on their next turn, and you'll be able to push through their back row. So hang on to it. Go into Sister, goes into Plotomy, okay? We negate, we say, well actually we don't negate, we let that go because we negated the Sister. Never mind. So we don't negate, he cannot do anything, and that's GG. Okay? It's very hard for Onamat to kill you through a board like that. Onamat, you're always summoning the Roar. Onamat, you're always summoning a Roar. I don't think this is a KC Cup play. Let me see. So, I must have saved over the Ritual Beast replays. Oh, this is a KC Cup one. Okay. This is against Shark Exceed, so this is a good one. This will be the last one I show. And then we'll do a little bit more talking about what's going to go on in future streams. Which will give you a good reason why you want to be on my Twitch channel. Very soon and very much followed. Activate the Raiden. Level 2. Summon the Raiden. Level 2. And then we exceed. Now you're probably going to say to me, one question. Why didn't you Raiden mill? Because we already have enough resources in the grave. We do not want to mill Levineer in the graveyard. That's not good. We do not need to mill further. This is a very good play against Shark Exceed because you can negate Deep Sea Diva. So he's going to go into Dweller. We're going to mandatorily force him to get rid of this. So this is very good. Now you force them to get rid of the Strike Bouncer with their infantry. We're going to go ahead and summon the Duo. Activating the Hawk. Activating the Dark. Dark's going to go ahead and search a copy of Roar. And then we get to shuffle everything back in the deck. And now that might seem crazy, but we want to find Levineer. And there we go. That's when you want to use Hawk, when you have an established field already. Levineer. Activate Levineer. We're not activating its effect because we want to play around infantry. So, we're playing around that. Gonna go ahead, have to pop my Strike Bouncer. Activating Duo, swarm the field as much as possible. Threaten lethal, force the Lance. We knew it was the Lance because we saw a delay earlier. And especially because I saw a delay on his turn, I knew it wasn't a buck. Okay, so he goes into the Gishki Chain. This is more for him to reorder his deck to see a Diva later on. Goes into Spider Shark. Attacks. Will pop. Swing over. 18. We got that follow-up Levineer. Remember, we hawked. Levineer, we don't care about the top deck. Levineer's great, but we don't care. Go into Roar. Roar floats into another Hawk. Pop 2. Force the Spider Shark to float. He goes into Infantry. We activate Hawk, summoning Rogue. Tribute summoning yet another Hawk, because that Hawk can attack. Or more or less be used for Plotomine, not to attack, because we have Duo for that. Summon the third Levy, just for BM, and that is GG. So that is how you want to be playing Thunder Dragons, okay? Now, one replay we didn't have for you today is we didn't have a replay of how to beat turn 1 Noble Knights. Now, if you go turn 1 against them, rather than them going turn 1 against you, just go into Strike Bouncer. Ideally, you want to go Strike Bouncer with a follow-up Levineer, so that way if they set Karma Cut to try to survive through your Strike Bouncer, then you have Levineer to finish them off. So that's the ideal way. Alright, that's how you want to play Thunder Dragons. Overall, in future streams, we're doing a Banlist podcast. So we're going to talk about, and if you guys on the YouTube side want to get in on the Banlist podcast, make sure you're following me on Twitch. You do not need to speak on microphone. You can if you want. You can come in the voice chat on the Discord. You don't have to. If you're shy, you can talk in chat and let everyone know what your opinions are. That we are doing Saturday. Okay? This Saturday. So you want to make sure that if you want to get involved in that, make sure you're followed to me on that Twitch. Alright? I'm going to go over a quick few cards that I think are going to get hit on the ban list, because I know people are going to comment here, and we're going to talk about it very, very quickly. Oop, I actually don't want to cut my Thunder Dragon list, but we're going to go more in depth on Saturday. Alright, so these are a few cards that I think could be up for grabs on the ban list. So just give me a second to type this out. Let's see, where are you? We'll talk about what I really think they're going to hit as opposed to what could be a potential rogue hit, something we don't see coming. Because they sometimes do these where you don't see these coming. Where is that trap? There it is. Alright, and we'll go over one more card that I think could potentially see being hit here. Okay, so these are the big things that I see being hit. Alright, so the decks that I think they're going to go after are Blue Eyes. Actually, I'll include one more hit here. Alright, so here are the main hits I see them hitting. Alright, the main ones I think they're going to go after are Sage. Sage is one. I'm going to input a second route that they can go. Alright, Sage is a card that I think can go to 2. And the reason why is because they may want to restrict you from playing Karma Cut. The same goes with Until could go to 2, so you can't play Karma Cut, which will also go to 2. Another card that may go to 2 is Dodo Draw. Not because of Karma Cut, but because they don't want you playing Hatrunane in the deck. So Hatrunane may be taken out of Onamat. So that's my thinking behind this. I think they may take Hatrunane out of Onamat. So I'll kind of link these two together here. Alright, so that may be taken out of Onamat. Aloof might also go to 2 just to restrict you from playing it alongside Light Brigade and Sark, because they are also at 2. So this kind of goes alongside that, so you can't play it with Light Brigade, and you also can't play it alongside Gold Sarcophagus. Well, I spelled that wrong, but you get what I mean. Now, the cards that I think are bannable are Cup Ace and Head Judging. They may outright ban these cards so you can't use it in Desperado. So it would make it much less degenerate. So you don't have to feel like they're going to open up 2 Cup of Ace and then gain so much advantage over you that you can't come back. Alright? As far as Blue Eyes, Sage, and Ancients are up for grabs, I most likely think they're going to go after Sage more than anything else. As far as other decks, I can't see them going after the Shark deck. I don't think there's anything else that would really be on the ban-worthy list. I know Dark Lords were the best deck. I still don't think they're going to get touched. In the KC Cup, they came in #1 global. I still don't see any touching to them. I know that was an issue. But I more than likely think this is the cards that we have to watch. The skills that they might hit are Onomatopoeia, Onomatoplay, that they may make it where you only shuffle 1 back in and be able to get 1 back. Ultimate Dragons might get a hit where you need a life point cost onto it. That's a possibility. And Master of Destiny, they may hit that where you need more cards in the deck than what is already had, like 9. So that might be a potential hit. Now, one other thing is cards that may come back. I think we could see potentially Kawaki Mero cards come back. Maybe we get back Iron Core could come back. For Hires could come back further. Let's see what else is hitting that deck. Okay, Dinah might come off the ban list. Everything else is off the ban list except for Dinah. Dinah could come back, probably the 3, and it wouldn't make too much of a difference. This can come back. Because we don't have to worry about Lock anymore. Amazon's Onslaught may come off. Do I think any other cards are going to come off? Maybe like Crystron cards, DM? No, I don't think so. The only Crystron hit that I think that they could adjust to is they may end up putting back Gen X Control of the 3. And the reason why is for any water decks like Mermails, which is heavily Exceed based, comes out in the future, I could see them putting this back to 3 so you don't have to be sacrificed because of Cristrons. Get punished of Cristrons being hit to play Mermails with Gen X Undyne in it. So they may end up putting, if we get a card called Atlantean Dragoons, this matters for Mermails. I know you're saying they don't play it in Mermails right now, but if we get a card called Atlantean Dragoons, you'll see why later, why people play Undyne in the deck. But we don't have Atlantean Dragoons yet, so that's not a card that's out in Duel Links yet. But you'll see why they play this in Mermail when we get that. But anyway, that's my thoughts, that this can potentially come to 3, and I think that would be fine, giving Crystron, Rion, and Citri back, because they overly nerfed them. Shira, I don't see, but like I said, this is kind of like Rogue, in my opinion, hit or miss. Shira, I don't see. DM, I don't know. I don't really see DM coming back anywhere off the ban list. Other than that, that's pretty much what I think. But we're all going to talk about this on Saturday, so make sure you follow on Twitch. And also, if you want to see me play in tournaments, which I am playing in soon, make sure you follow me on Twitch. Anyway, this is Tilt Matre, signing out.